On this rainy Thursday morning, unusual weather for Córdoba, we stepped into Casa Sefarad, a small museum tucked away in the old Jewish quarter, just around the corner from the statue of Maimónides. The building looks simple from the outside, but inside, it gives a glimpse into the Jewish presence in Spain, especially during the time when Córdoba was one of the intellectual centers of the world. We got there around 11:30, just in time for something special that we didn't know anything about. Every Thursday, the host sings a handful of traditional songs in Hebrew, Turkish, and Spanish, reflecting the mixed roots of Sephardic music. It's not really a performance, more of a shared moment. What is surprising, he's not Jewish himself at all, but he's clearly passionate and knowledgeable. He is Spanish and is fluent in French and English, and as we were leaving, he even said goodbye in Dutch. The origins of the house itself aren't confirmed. The host was very clear about that. Unlike some tourist sites that try to sell a myth, this one just keeps it honest. It's likely a home from the medieval period, possibly similar to what Jewish families might have lived in before the expulsion in 1492, but there's no claim that it belonged to anyone famous, not even Maimónides, who was born nearby. Maimónides, or Moshe ben Maimon, was a 12th century Jewish philosopher, physician, and legal scholar. He wrote in Arabic, lived in Muslim lands, and became one of the most important thinkers in Jewish history. His works try to bridge reason and faith, and they're still studied today. The name Sepharad is actually the Hebrew word for Spain, so Casa Sefarad translates loosely to House of Spain, but in Jewish history, it specifically refers to the Jewish communities that once lived there. When we talk about Sephardic Jews, we're talking about the Jews who lived in Spain before being expelled, and their descendants who carried that culture with them to places like Turkey, Morocco, the Balkans, and even Northern Europe. The Sephardic presence in cities like Amsterdam was historically much stronger. After the expulsion from Spain and Portugal in the late 1400s, many Jews fled north to the more tolerant Dutch, where they could openly practice their faith. What the museum does well is reconstruct daily life. There are rooms focused on music, women's lives, religious practices, and the role of Jews in medicine, science, and translation during the golden age of Al-Andalus. There's also a section on the Inquisition showing how Jewish converts, conversos, were later persecuted for continuing to practice Judaism in secret. The highlight for many is the music room, not just for the old instruments and history, but for the Thursday morning songs that keep this culture alive in a quiet, respectful way. Casa Sefarad doesn't try to be a big museum. It's small, personal, and honest, and that's why it stays with you. You don't walk away with dramatic claims, but with a clearer picture of a culture that helped shape Spain and paid the price for it.